कुंभे पुनर्वसु जातौ केरले चोळपट्टने कौस्तुभांशं धराधीशं कुलशेखरमाश्रये घुष्यते यस्य नगरे रङ्गयात्रा दिने दिने तमहं शिरसा वन्दे राजानं कुलशेखरम्. 15th. We'll chant it and then we'll look at the meaning. मा द्राक्षं क्षीणपुण्यान् क्षणमपि भवतो भक्तिहीनान् पदाब्जे मा श्रौषं श्राव्यबन्धं तव अपास्यान्यद् आख्यानजातं मा स्मार्षं माधव त्वामपि भुवनपते चेतसा पह्नुवानान् मा भुवं त्वत्सपर्या व्यतिकररहितो जन्म जन्मान्तरेऽपि जिह्वे कीर्तय केशवं मुररिपुं चेतो भज श्रीधरं पाणिद्वन्द्वः समर्चयाच्युतकथाः श्रोत्रद्वयत्वं शृणु कृष्णं लोकय लोचनद्वय हरेर्गच्छाङ्घ्रियुग्मालयं जिघ्रघ्राणमुकुन्दपादतुलसीं मूर्धन्नमाधोक्षजम्. So this is actually, if you look at these two verses, it is very interesting. This is it almost follows what we spoke last evening in Mantra Pushpamala, Matrika Mantra Pushpamala Stavam. By the way, happy Women's Day to everybody, not just the women, to everybody. So the Matrika Mantra Pushpamala Stavam, when we closed yesterday, we spoke about how the various sense organs, we have to make sure we train them appropriately. We should train them such that it does not go in distracted directions. It is like the example of the horse, the chariot and the horses. The example is spoken in many different places in Kathopanishad, in Bhagavad Gita, in Viveka Chudamani, where if the body is the chariot and the senses are the horses, and the road is the sense objects. So if the different sense organs go towards the sense objects in various directions, the chariot will completely go haywire. It will not go in a single direction. It will not go on a particular path. Imagine the 5 horses, like the 5 sense organs. 5 horses have 5 different they have the mind of their own. So the horse on this left says, no, I want to go this way. The center horse will say, no, I will want to go this way. Suddenly the 4th horse will say, no, I want to rest and sit down now. 5th horse will say, no, I just want to walk. I don't want to run. Each of these horses have the mind of their own and they don't synchronize. Imagine the plight of the person sitting and riding that horse. In Viveka Chudamani, Adi Shankara talks about this, the very beginning. He says how the firefly gets drawn by the sense of sight, light. It looks at light and it goes and falls into fire, dies. The fish, for the sense of taste, it goes and gets caught into the bait, right? There is a worm and for taste, for food, it gets caught there. The elephant is, when it listens to a certain sound, it thinks it's the sound of the mating sound. So it runs towards the mate, and that sense of touch, it falls into the pit that the elephant poacher has created. So the elephant poachers do it this way. They create a big pit and they create sounds of the elephant that they get drawn for mating. So sound and sense of touch. So basically sound, right? And then the example is of the mriga, kasturi mriga, the musk deer, which for the sense of smell, it's coming from its udder. It doesn't know where it's coming from, so it goes and finally falls off the cliff, not knowing what to do, because it's going crazy about where the smell is coming from. It's trying to run to the source of the smell, and wherever it goes, the smell is there, not knowing it's coming from inside its body. So it says each of these animals or creatures, they meet their end just with one sense organ going haywire, going out of control. Imagine a human being with all the five sense organs, all of them are going completely out of control. So it's very beautiful actually. When you read this, you realize, oh my God, that's so true. Right? It's dangerous. All of these are pretty dangerous actually. It can lead us into whatever directions that we may end up losing control. And as we said yesterday, it will be difficult to pull back also, because the ability to pull back, we would have lost it over time. The urja shakti, the prana shakti that you require to withdraw. Pratyahara, the fifth stage of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, to withdraw pratyahara requires great amount of prana shakti. To withdraw the sense organs and hold it within and stay there, then comes dharana, dhyana, samadhi. But pratyahara is to pull and hold. That requires a lot of prana. It requires physical prana and mental prana. Tremendous mental prana is required. Just think how the moment, see, I have a certain like, and I see the object of liking, immediately my hand and my legs go towards that direction. Immediately. The mind doesn't even come into, the active conscious mind doesn't even come into play. It is as though I'm programmed. So when this happens, what is important for us is to recognize this condition of ours and figure out what to do. Because if you give up or you give in, the problem is the consequences can be pretty bad. The consequences can be pretty painful. The suffering that we'll go through later, it'll only put us into a very pitiable state. We'll only cry for our own selves. We'll only feel bad for ourselves. We don't want to be in that situation. We don't want to be in a pitiable situation, even for our own selves. We don't want to look at ourselves and feel pity. So here, Kulasekara Alvar is saying, Madraksham, Kshina Punyan, Kshanamapi Bhavato, Bhaktihinan Padabje. So may I not look at those who do not have devotion for you. Let me not even look at such people. Because he's a Uchchakoti Bhakta. He's a devotee of the highest order. So he is telling Bhagavan, I don't want to even for a moment also, I don't want a thought to appear in my mind of no devotion to you. And mind is such that it will very easily get influenced by the external factors. External environment will get very easily influenced and distracted. So if I see somebody who's suddenly saying who's living a life without any devotion, without any activities, pious activities, and he is living a life of recklessly, he's just living, he's spending, he's got a lot of money and he's living like a brat, and we look at him and we feel that why should I go and break my head, go to temple every day, go do this meditation, do dhyanam, japam? What am I getting? He's enjoying life so nicely, so well. Let me not even get a little thought like that, oh Bhagavan, saying. Let me not even look at such a person who is devoid of any form of devotion. It's not, we are not looking down upon them. See, understand, we are not looking down upon such people. They have their life to live. They are living, they will at some point, they will, like even Arunagirinatha, we know the story. He lived a very reckless life. But he reached a tipping point where he was about to commit suicide, and then Muruga came and gave him jnanam. And then immediately he became the saint Arunagirinatha. So that we can't judge people by the look from the outside. Those who would have spoken ill about Arunagirinatha later went and fell at his feet because of his sankalpa shakti. His sankalpam and purva punyam that he carried allowed him to transcend or jump off um, that tendency that he had, those strong tendencies, he was able to just jump over. It may not be possible for all of us. But at the same time, we can't look at the other and judge and say that, he is like that. No. So Kulasekara was saying, don't make me even look at them because I don't want to judge them. They may right, wrong, whatever. But I don't want to get distracted by that. I don't want a thought to enter into my mind that, I can let me relax and let me just frivolously spend my life. Why should I sit and kashtapadu? Why should I train my mind? Why should I train my body? Let those thoughts not come into my mind. He says, Mahadraksham Kshina Punyan Kshanamapi Bhavatah Bhakti Hinan Padabje. Those who are Bhakti Hina, Bhavata Bhakti Hina, those who are those who are devoid of bhakti towards you, Bhavatah Bhakti Hina, towards them or towards your lotus feet, may I not Mahadraksham, may I not look at them. Look at them. Ma Shrausham Shravyabandham Tava Charitam Apasyanyad Akhyana Jatam. So may I not hear that which is not spoken about you. Tava Charitam Apasya Anyat Akhyana. Other narrations, the Vyakhyana or any other Vyakhyana, Anyat Akhyana, which means Anyat, other narrations or other discussions which are besides speaking about you. Tava Charitam. Tava Charitam is about those topics that are not about you, not talking about your Charitam. Let me not hear them. Ma Shrausham. May I not hear Ma Shrausham Shravya Bandham Tava Charitam Apasya Anyat Akhyana Jatam. May I not hear any other topics of discussions besides listening to your Leela, your stories, your glories, right? Like the Puranas, the Bhagavata, all of that. Then Mas Marsham Madhava Tvam Api Bhuvanapate Chetasa Paknuvanan. Mas Marsham, may I not remember um, may I not remember those people, those who don't think about you. Those who don't think about you, let me not think about them. Let me think about those Sant, saints, gurus, masters, those who have devoted their life to you, devoted their life for spiritual pursuits. Let me think about such people. Let me not think about those people, those who don't think about you. Let me not see such people. Let me not hear any such subjects or topics like that. Let me not think even. Let me not think even of such people, those who don't, those who have not given up, those who have not invested their life into spiritual pursuits. Let me not think about such people. For example, as a Raja, he could have thought about other Rajas, right? Thought about, oh, how that Raja lived. How did that Raja do? How did this Raja do? I want to be a great Raja like him. I want to be a greater. I want to become Chakravarti. I want to become. He can think like that. So he's saying, no, I don't want to even think like that. I will let me think about the dasas, the servants that served you, O Bhagavan. The bhaktas, those who served you, let me think about them. Mas marsham madhava twamapi bhuvanapate. O Master of the world, chetasa apnuvahnan. So those who have not, those who have avoided to think about you, may I not think about them. Then ma bhuvam tvatsapariya vyatikara rahito janma janmantarebi. May I, in repeated births, may I not be devoid of the opportunity of serving you. In any small way, any which way, may I not be devoid, or may I not be rejected the opportunity of serving you life after life. So this is Kulashekara Alvar's prayer to Bhagavan. He's saying, oh Bhagavan, let me not. So basically what we are saying, I am not judging the world. I am not making commentaries upon the world. I am not saying the world is good, bad. No. I am creating my focus. A lot of people have this concern, right? When you go, for example, particularly office goers would know this. If you go to these they go out to drink and all, even socially, and even for corporate meetings, parties, they go. They ask, what is wrong? What is wrong in drinking? Say, nothing is wrong. So then they'll ask, are we bad? Are we wrong? Doing wrong? So I didn't say you are doing wrong. Doesn't work for me. I don't want to. So immediately the world, when you take a sankalpa and you stay on it, the world will think that as though you are judging them and you're saying that, you are lower, you are not good, you are whatever. That we have to remember. Very, very important. When you take a sankalpa, remember the world, you are not to judge the world. It is for your own spiritual growth. Doesn't matter see, I'm telling you again, the world will change, flip. There are many, many, many examples where somebody who was like even like a Angulimala, cutting pink people's fingers. Ratnakara Daku became Valmiki. So many examples in literature. Kalidasa, such a dud. And we find it so difficult to chant his Shamala Dandakam. Such great scholarly people. Now, they were given, that just flips. You'll never know. The same person can flip tomorrow. So we don't judge them. We are saying we don't want to be. I am not in a position. We should think that I am not in a position to flip. I can't wait for a flip to happen. Those who have watched Saraswati Sabadam, the movie, Shivaji Ganeshan, so no, not Saraswati, Saraswati Sabadam. So the three Devis, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati, three Devis will give boons to three different people, and then they will fight amongst each other to show who is greater. Kalviya, Selvama, Veerama, Abdincholi. There is a song also. So in that, Shivaji Ganeshan is a complete a simpleton, and he gets beaten up everywhere and all that. Suddenly, Saraswati Devi will give him all knowledge, understanding, proficiency, and then he'll suddenly become a great scholar. That doesn't happen in life. Right? We can't keep waiting for something like that to occur. So we have to make sure we become cautious. Even somebody like Kulasekara Alvar is not waiting for some magic to happen. He's making this effort. He's saying, let me be very, very focused. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapya Varana Nibodhata. So Jagrata, like Nuchu Swami says, ஜாகிரத்துல ஜாக்கிரதையா இருங்கோ. In Jagrata Avastha, be very, very careful, conscious. ஜாக்கிரதையா இருக்கிறது. ஜாக்கிரதையா இருக்கிறது is a very important quality we have to develop. To be cautious, not to become paranoid. See, everything what happens is we take everything to one extreme and then எதை கண்டாலும் பயப்படுறது. That is not ஜாக்கிரதை. That is paranoia. We should not convert something into a disease or a uh, irrecoverable condition. Jagrat Avastha, it's called Jagrat so that you can remain aware and conscious of what I do, what I think, what I hear, what I see, what I taste, what I smell, what I touch. And when I'm like that, and then he says, I will be careful this way, O Lord, and I want you to allow me to repeatedly come into this bhumi to be of service to you. And then he goes on to say, 16th verse, Jihve kirtaya keshavam muraripum cheto bhaja sridharam पाणिद्वन्द्व समर्चयाच्युत कथाः श्रोत्रद्वयं श्रोत्रद्वयत्वं शृणु कृष्णं लोकय लोचनद्वय हरेर्गच्छाङ्घ्रियुग्मालयं जिघ्रघ्राण मुकुन्द पादतुलसीं मूर्धन्नमाधोक्षजम्. Adhokshaja. His name is Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja is one of the names of Vishnu. Vishnu Sahasranam also it appears. Adhokshaja is somebody who is transcended. Aksha is eyes. Eyes always represent all the sense organs. And one who's gone adha, which means he's gone beyond the senses, is Adhokshaja. So this is what he is talking here. He is calling him as Adhokshaja because he is saying, oh Bhagavan, one who is beyond the senses. Bhagavan is not within our sense perception. He is beyond our sense perception. And for us to understand Bhagavan, we have to go beyond our sense perception. How can you go beyond your sense perceptions, organs of sense perception? How do you go beyond something? When you know where the line has been drawn. How do you know you're crossing a boundary? Only when you know a boundary. When you don't know what your boundary is, how do you know when you're crossing it? It'll just be by accident. You'll probably just get over by accident. Otherwise, you'll just keep figuring out where you're going. You'll not know. So you know the limitations of your sense organs. Know the limitation. My eyes always want to look at beautiful things. My ears always want to listen to this thing. My tongue always wants to drink 5 coffees in a day. So it keeps doing this. All my sense organs are continuously trying to create creating environment for the sense organs, and I always look for sense organs to be in an environment which is to its liking. Right? So how do I get beyond it? How do I get beyond it if I don't know that my sense organs are my limitation? That limitation is important to recognize. So then he says, if I recognize that sense organ, the limitation of my sense organ, I know I am getting driven by my senses. My mind is not in my control, it's in the control of the senses. So he says, Bhagavan is calling him as Adhokshaja. Oh Bhagavan, you are beyond all the sense organs, which means with these sense organs, I cannot reach you. And I have to transcend this. How do I transcend this? By pratyahara, by withdrawing these sense organs. I don't keep letting it run on the outside. Pratyahara. I withdraw them. I hold them in place so that my mind can go beyond it. My mind can think beyond the sense organs. My mind can perceive something. Mind becomes a platform to perceive something which is beyond what the sense organs can offer it. Today, the mind only way it can recognize or cognize is through the sense organs, the five sense organs. That is the only input it has. But there is an ability for the mind to touch upon that which it usually is not associated with. See, a beautiful example of parrot is given. Why is Ambal Devi carrying a parrot? Why is she shown carrying a parrot? Meenakshi or Saraswati? Because the parrot can be taught to speak even though it is not naturally created to speak. It is not naturally formed to speak. And when it speaks, it doesn't understand the meaning. It doesn't understand the meaning. It just speaks, it repeats what you say. So it can be trained that way. The mind can be trained that way. That is the symbolism there. The symbolism is to show that the mind is like the parrot. You teach it. You teach it to do something that it is not used to do. What is it used to do? It is used to process inputs from the five sense organs. But you teach it bhakti, you teach it yoga, you teach it dhyana, japa, you teach it these things, and then it will catch it, it will hold, it will do it. So, by means of doing all of this, by Sankirtanam, by Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, we are repeatedly thinking, we are training the mind to do that which it's not originally trained to do. In its natural form, it's not trained, so we have to train it. So, Kulasekara Alvar says here, O Bhagavan, may my tongue praise the glories of Keshava or Krishna. Jikhve kirtaya Keshavam muraripum cheto bhaja Sridharam. May I worship you, O Sridhara. May my hands serve. Panidvaya samarchaya achyuta kathaha shrotradvayam tvam shrunu. May I listen to all your um, glories about you. May I listen to glories of, may I praise you, which means I use my mouth to sing about you. May my hands serve you. May I hear only about you. May eyes look upon you, O Krishna. Krishnam lokaya lochanadvaya harer gachangri yugmalayam. May I go towards your feet. May my nose smell the tulasi buds on your feet. Jighragrana mukunda pada tulasim. Murdhannam nama adhokshajam. May I, uh, with my head, I bow down to you, O Adhokshaja. So beautiful, right? Jikhve, Jikhva, Pani, which is the hands, Jikhva is the tongue, Lochana, eyes, Shrotra, ears, Grana, smell. So all of the sense organs, he's saying, may it be in your service. May it be in your service. So this way, Kulasekara Alvar is bringing our attention to say that you have to first recognize your limitation, the sense organs. If we don't recognize, we will get driven by it. Whatever you do, enna kutti karanam potalum, whatever somersaults you do, you will continue to be stuck in that because we have not opened our eyes and seen that, oh my God, this is the one that's driving me. So you have to control. You have to do abhyasa yogena. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, at least through abhyasa, do some kind of practice, some every day little bit time spent on something. So through that, we do little by little by little. Then you train the mind. We train the mind, and it becomes a beautiful platform, like Hari Sarasi. In the previous verse, he talks about. Then he says, Hari Sarasi. Beautiful verse he says this. Hmm. Where is that? Sarasija Drishi. Hari Sarasi Vigahya Piya Tejo Jalogham. So may you become that, the mind will then become a lake, a beautiful lake of Hari Nama, of Bhagwan's presence. And then you go into that and you deep dive, you keep diving into it every day whenever you want. But we have to create that platform. We have to create that beautiful lake within our minds. Nobody else from the outside is going to do it. We have to do it. We are the ones to do it. Only we can do it. So those are the two verses of today, 15 and 16. I'll just chant it one more time and we'll close today. Ma draksham kshina punyan kshanam api bhavato bhaktihinan padabje ma shrausham shravya bandham tava charitam apasyanyad akhyana jatam ma smarsham madhava tvam api bhuvanapate chetasa pahnuvanan ma bhuvam tvatsaparya vyati kararahito janma janmantarepi जिह्वे कीर्तय केशवं मुररिपुं चेतो भज श्रीधरं पाणिद्वन्द्व समर्चयाच्युतकथाः श्रोत्रद्वय त्वं शृणु कृष्णं लोकय लोचनद्वय हरेः गच्छाङ्घ्रियुग्मालयं जिघ्रघ्राण मुकुन्द पादतुलसीं मूर्धन्नमाधोक्षजम् ॐ कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सदाशिवायेति समर्पयामि जगदम्बिकेति समर्पयामि सद्गुरुनाथायेति समर्पयामि हरि ओं तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओं हरि ओं